Hey YouTube, I'm Mrs. Dr. Lupo.
And I'm Sam, and today on The Magic Word, we're going to be talking about minimalism and intentional living.
This is just part 1 of the conversation, so catch us next week for part 2. But if you want to catch us live, every Friday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific.
And make sure you like and subscribe over here for more magical content.
Oh yeah.
A magical day!
Happy New Year! Yay! We're gonna just sit in this screen because I'm really tired.
Yeah, we're just gonna be invisible. We're invisible.
You guys just get to hear our voices. Man, if we ever have a time that we just don't, want to get ready, not that I really did, but we don't want to get ready, then, you just,
Just vibe.
we just sit like this. But I guess we can say hello and Happy New Year.
Hi, everybody.
Happy New Year! It's 2021, and it's the same as 2020 still.
Yeah, we'll have to see what changes come this year, because I'm ready for something
Did
new.
anybody do the collective, hold your breath when it switched to 2021, hoping that everything would change? Because I surely did.
Oh, I don't know. I was asleep.
You were sound asleep. So.
Maybe I did it. It's, in my sleep. I don't know.
Oh, yes, the KK shirt. We have KK Slider joining us today.
We have 2 different franchises today. Got Harry Potter and Animal Crossing.
Put my hair to this side, which is really not the norm.
Beautiful.
You hold something silver in your left hand for luck. I've seen people that you're also supposed to eat black-eyed peas today, or black.
I've always heard that.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Where did that come from?
No clue. We should figure that out. But 2021. It's literally it's only been 2021 for me for 10 and a half hours.
Are you ready to start writing the wrong date for the next month at least?
Thankfully, we don't have to go anywhere that I have to write the date very much.
That's true. I realized I don't think I wrote 2020 much unless it was just on doctor's stuff at a doctor's office.
For me, it would be when we pick up our mail. Because we have to fill out a little, sign a little letter each time that we pick up our mail. So that I'll have to definitely keep that in mind. But now I can finally stop writing the whole entire year, because somebody told me that because usually when you would write if it's 2019, you'd be 1/1/19. But if you do 1/1/20, somebody can be sneaky and they can make 2020 into anything that is 2000 whatever, and they can change the date on stuff, which could be fraudulent. And so for the last year, I've been writing 2020 the whole entire time because it scared me that someone was going to come in.
They're going to do it. They're going to make that O an 8.
Or they would put 20 and then they would write 19 right after it, so it would be 2019, and now my check is a year prior, and then now it couldn't be cashed or something like that. So
that's it. I never thought about it like that.
Right? That's the first thing that somebody taught me with when it became 2020. I was like, okay.
Well, nobody taught me that, but thank goodness I don't think I dealt with it.
Right?
So fine.
Oh my goodness. How was your week? Well, how was your New Year's?
It was good. It's been a week.
Wait.
Not a bad week. It's just been a normal week. It was even leading up to New Year's. Do you ever get that anxiety or that anxiousness or nervousness about the new year happening? Because you're oh gosh, 2020 or whatever, the past year is almost over, and then as it approaches the new year, you get a little nervous. I didn't get that way this year, and I think it's just because I was bye.
Yeah. We're done with you. But how was your Christmas? Because that's cool. All in 1 week.
Yeah, holy heck. I didn't even think about that.
Because we did our show before. Well, let me close my windows again, because I'm why does the ghost now?
No, yeah, I definitely had some fun. I took a break away from social media as well as streaming, of course, for a few days. And it was just so good and so healthy. We actually cracked open and dusted off our Nintendo 64. And I've been showing Leif Donkey Kong 64. Oh, it's been so fun.
Nice.
Also, I remember how difficult games were back then. We opened up our Sega Genesis. We've got our GameCube. Like, we were just going retro, and it was really nice family time. But I need to beat Donkey Kong. It's stressing me. I rage quit for the first time. I rage quit. Tiny Kong's boss really, really took it out of me.
I can feel your stress in this conversation.
Video game.
We all need to know, if everyone was here last time, what did you have to eat last night?
So, I had Subway. If y'all didn't hear it last show, it was a tradition, a really silly tradition, but I'm from a family with a bunch of kids. Like, we had 6 living in that house, but 7 total. And so an easy way to feed all the kids on New Year's instead of making another massive dinner was just to buy like the party trays of Subway sandwiches. We didn't do that because there's only 4 of us in the house. So we went last night and got our own little individual sandwiches. But we did that, and it was kind of fun bringing that back from my childhood. What about you?
We had my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law over. That's all our safety circle is what we call it is right now. And we had a shrimp boil, like shrimp in so not an actual boil. I do it in a sheet pan in the oven, but still like shrimp and corn and sausage and potatoes. I made
I feel like you fed me this.
Yes. That food.
This is really familiar. It's really good.
And then I made gluten-free vegan mac and cheese, and we had that. And then we had brownies. Like, everything was so heavy for food, but it was just all yummy comfort food. And then Charlie went to grandma's house for a sleepover. And then my sister-in-law has been a cocktail waitress before. And so she made all these fancy cocktails for us. And like, you know, had the little garnishes and everything. And then we just hung out. We had very few plans for the evening. We did a Star Wars escape room, which it was the hardest, and we destroyed it.
Wait, where did you do that?
There's a box, like a board game box that you can buy that has 3 escape rooms in it. And then it just hooked up to an app. And we were one where we were part of the Imperial Army and going through and trying to like find kyber crystals. And
amazing.
Yeah, they said that it was the hardest one, and they gave us an hour, and we ended with 3 minutes left. And in escape room world, that means that it's easy, right? When you end with multiple minutes left. And we even had a moment where we were like, we don't know what's going on. Let me see if I can find this.
Oh my gosh.
Star Wars escape room box.
I feel like the only escape room that I got under a minute was in Boston this year. Or actually not this year. Oh my gosh, it's the new year. Last year. I can say now.
I'm not going to put this in chat just yet because we're talking about minimalism today, right?
Yes.
So, but for the rest of the evening, we played that board game. We just hung around and talked. We listened to classic rock music, and we're all, because, you know, we all had some, you know, vibations. We were all vibing in one way or another. And we were all just like walking around our living room, being like, just like vibing music. We're like, oh, but this song. And we had to like add it to the queue. And we had it blasting because Charlie wasn't home, so it could be loud. And then we played Mario Kart Live. And that was a lot of fun.
Is that the new one? Mm-hmm. Do you like it? I've been looking at it.
It's a lot of fun. We are still figuring out how to make the tracks and like the best way to make the tracks. But it's a ton of fun. Charlie loves it. This is only my 2nd time playing it because Charlie keeps taking it from me. I wish there was a way, though, that you could do more than one character per Switch.
Oh, can you not?
No. It's 1 character per Switch. So that's the only annoying thing. I wish that you could do 2 characters per Switch, because then you could at least play against somebody.
Yeah, because like the Joy-Con, you can flip it and it's a new controller. Why did they do it?
I don't know.
Okay.
So thankfully, I mean, we have two Switches. Ben has one and I have one. So we can do two characters. But then when they come out with other ones, um, we're like, well, do we need them? Because that means that we have to find people with Switches, or they need
Switch.
to allow like a Pro controller or something to hook up to it or something like that.
Well,
Yeah. You don't need hardwood to play Mario Kart Live, though. They do very well on lower pile carpet and rugs. And it's actually really funny because when you're driving the camera itself, it's shaking. So it's really hard to see where you're going. And it's a lot of fun. But yeah, there we go. Unnoted. Yep. Don't need to know that. But that was my New Year's. They went home a little after midnight. People let off fireworks too close to the ground last night, scared my dog. We had to snuggle her, and then we went to bed. And I have a little bit of a headache today. It's been a long time since I've had alcohol.
I'm glad that you were able to let loose and enjoy yourself. I went to bed really early, and Leif had his first sparkling grape juice. He hated it, so that was fun. Kid has never had soda, so he was just tasting the carbonation. He's just like, this is
Same
gross.
With Charlie. Yeah. Charlie, like we drink Izzy. That's our carbonated thing. And he just doesn't, the bubbles, he says the bubbles make his throat burn. And I'm like, oh, child.
He's not going to be a champagne kid, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the drinks that we had, I forgot was champagne, that you have to let all the bubbles settle. Otherwise, they go all the way up into your brain, because my sister-in-law handed me my drink and it was champagne and syrups and stuff like that. We made bellinis. And I was so excited to taste it because it looked really pretty. And then it just all the bubbles went up. I was like, I can't do this. It's been so long. I don't know how to drink anymore.
Honestly, I don't think that I would know either.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm able to drink again.
Because we socially drink. So like if we would go out to a restaurant for a date night, we might have a drink. Or if we're like around friends that we just, want to chill with.
Or a convention. Like I only really drink at conventions, and I haven't had a convention since February last year. So, well, don't know the next time that's going to be.
It bubbled into your brain and you couldn't breathe. Oh, yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, the first time I had champagne, it burned so bad. I was at a quinceañera, and even though I was 15, they were like, here, have some champagne. And it was like, okay, what is it? Carbonated drink? Let's do it. And I took a swig and I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I've like not liked champagne since, unless it's in like a mimosa. Because then it's just orange juice. It's bubbly.
I want to do cotton candy with like sparkling. You do like soda water or sparkling juice if you want non-alcoholic, or you do champagne on top of it and it melts the cotton candy and it turns into like this sweetest bubbly
I feel
drink.
like I've seen that.
And it just looks so good. And basically, I mean, we all know that I just love sugar. So that's like pouring liquid sugar down my throat. And it sounds like a wonderful thing.
That does sound good. I only drink drinks where I can't taste the alcohol.
Yeah. The dangerous
ones.
Because then you're like 2 drinks in and you're like, wait, what just happened?
You go to the bartender, give us the danger zone drinks. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so now apparently we're talking about alcohol for 20 minutes. I'm sorry. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Christmas is great at our house too. And it's been nice having the small family that we can hang out with around. So the end. But last week we talked about the first part of our 2021 prep of resolutions and goals and habits. And we kind of decided that resolutions are a little out of date, and the pressure of accomplishing them at a certain point in your life kind of makes it where most people aren't prepared for it, right?
Yeah.
And then we talked about goals, and we think that goals are good, but only when they are in a broader sense of a term kind of thing, versus being like, I'm going to lose 21 pounds, instead of being like, I want to fit into my favorite pair of jeans or something like that.
Mhm.
And then we talked about habits, the things that you can create on a daily basis to fulfill your life. And that is kind of leading us into minimalism.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Welcome to episode 5.
Episode 5.
What if someone asked you to explain minimalism, what would you say it was?
The opposite of my lifestyle. So so basically, I am learning along with y'all for the men's game. Like I know what it is. I do mostly intentional living, but I still falter. I like to splurge. Um, However, watching Sam go through this last year, and she'll explain more of what it was, I was like, I need to do this so bad because I have so many items, mostly like just from PR and stuff. And as cool as it is to receive, I have a problem with letting it go because then I feel guilty because I'm like, they gave me this. I don't know what to do with it. Like I literally, y'all don't want to see what's next to my desk. Um, like I look at it and I'm like, these are all gifts. I have nowhere to put them. They're still in their bags and boxes. And I need to learn. I need to be taught.
So there's many definitions for minimalism, right? But most people think of white box with a single chair in it and a book and an outfit, like that kind of thing, where it's just so pared down, where all of your trash fits into a little can and all of your belongings fit into a backpack. That's just that is the extreme minimalists, and there are always extremes of every subculture. I would consider minimalism a subculture, even
Yeah.
though it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't. Minimalism is the opposite of consumerism. And that is something that we are terribly all guilty of.
Yep.
So it just, yeah, it's scary to see how much into consumerism we are now. And even from back like in the 50s is kind of really where it started with like keeping up with the Joneses and stuff like that. But now it's just we have the whole world to compare our lives to. So minimalism basically is living with intention, and the items and the things that you surround yourself are there to improve your life, not to diminish what you already have.
Yeah.
And why are we talking about it? Because it's extremely important for very, very, very millions of reasons. But some of the best reasons of adopting minimalism is one, it's good for the environment because you're not creating so much stuff. You're not using all of those
smaller footprint.
Yeah, that's smaller footprint, and with shipping, which is like the only way that majority of us get our stuff these days, right?
Yeah.
You save money because you're not buying new stuff. You have more time in your life because you're not having to upkeep all your stuff. You have less stress because you're not having to upkeep all of your stuff. So it means that you also get to go and have more adventures because now you have money and time and less stress to go do that. And you can
More experiences.
Yes, you can build on relationships, and it's more than just getting rid of things. I believe it's a total mindset of how you need to go into every aspect of your life. There's a lot of different terms for it, though. I prefer minimal-ish or a realistic minimalist, because you see like certain things where they say you can only have 8 plates and you can only have 10 shirts and you can only have blah, 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 blah. But that's not realistic. Like, I hate laundry. I'm not going to have only 10 shirts because I don't want to do laundry that much, right? And I'm not going to only have 8 plates because when all my family gets here, we have 14 people. So I need at least 14 plates because then when I have family over, I can feed everybody. And so that's kind of where I take that minimal-ish into account, because then I don't have that feeling that I can't be excessive in areas that make me happy.
Yeah.
Like, I could drop my green screen night right now and you could see all of my Lego sets. That is definitely not minimalist, right? But it's something that makes me happy. And
As
it's
a place
something
too.
that doesn't cause me stress, and that's okay. So that's why I prefer that minimal-ish or realistic minimalism because that gives you that leadway of, that flow of going to
Yeah.
whatever direction that fits for you.
I never heard it that way, minimal-ish. I guess that's what I would consider some of my lifestyle. We've been slowly purchasing items to help with like the clutter that we have. If y'all don't know, we're not in a house. We're in an apartment that was not meant to have the fourth adult that is in here. Um, so we're a little more on top of each other, and we're trying to be more intentional with placements of items, as well as the organization that we do. Thankfully, my brother is incredible at organizing, and that's been so helpful. But it's me. I know where the problem is in this house, and it's me.
The first
um,
step is admitting it.
yeah, no, I get it's me. Like I said, I have stuff that I need to do with. I could probably just donate it all. It's more so that's something that I internally need to work on because it's just like, but I feel bad letting things go. And I believe you said something last year. Um, I don't remember what it was specifically, but it was about letting go of things that were gifted to you. Like if they don't have a purpose or a use, like honestly, this all causes me stress. So
Then
much
why is it
stress.
still there?
Because I feel bad. But then I feel bad that it's here.
Right?
So
It's
I
a
need
constant
to,
like you will never
yeah.
break free of it until you just, start,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and I could honestly just pick up every single one of these boxes and bags, not know what's in it, and be fine because I never knew anyway.
Exactly.
So it's just like, oh god.
And it's the
And
same
I
kind
always
of
feel
thing
bad.
with storage units. Like,
Mhm.
I see more storage units being built in our city than anything else. More than grocery stores, more than gas stations, more than new neighborhoods. Like,
Yeah,
there's storage units everywhere. And who has that much stuff to fill up a storage unit? Really?
that's true. I never thought about that, about storage units.
Like, I
Like, they're never
understand if
getting
it's
here.
like you have a storage unit to hold a hobby, like you fix cars and you live in an apartment and you don't have a garage or something like that.
Mhm.
Or apparently, this is a common theme in shows about serial killers. They have the storage unit that they go do their thing in.
Isn't it called You? Is that
Yes,
the
you.
show?
It's a
Love that
great
show, by the
show,
way.
okay, guys?
Yeah.
Like, don't knock the show.
Storage units. They're dangerous.
But storage units, I don't understand it. We've never had a storage unit that I can think of at all growing up.
Me neither.
And
Well, we
and
had a
maybe we
garage, but like
yeah,
just
I mean
attached to your
we had a
house.
6-car garage because of what my parents did for a living.
Holy heck.
They had limos. We ran a limo
Oh,
service.
okay.
And then my dad turned the back half into his workshop to build airplanes. So I mean we used that space. We didn't just fill it full of stuff. And even in our storage room, we had one wall of shelves and that was it.
Oh,
There's nothing else. Our storage room in our basement, there was nothing else in there. And even I've adopted that. You've been in our basement on
mhm.
we have two sets of metal shelves and
It's so clean,
everything's on
y'all.
there.
Her house is just like it's beautiful.
So one of the other benefits then of minimalism is being a good example for your kid too, because then they don't have that feeling of having to, I don't want to say hoard, but
Mhm.
hoard things. Because you
Oh,
think
maybe
of
I'll do this with Leif.
you think of hoarders and you
Yeah.
think of the show Hoarders where they have the animals in the freezer kind of thing and you can't find where the couch is and stuff like that. But I we were just talking about this. I hoard office supplies
Good old
so
stationery.
badly. Also, that's technically not green, but it's picking up green. So it just it there's so many benefits. Like I could go on forever about it, and I'm probably going to be really scatterbrained about it today because it's something that makes me so excited to talk about because I can see the change in people's lives uh when they just start making that movement. And then I get so many messages from people that are just like, "Oh my gosh, I cleaned out our kitchen and I love cooking because I can find all of my cooking utensils that I need. And I only have one big pot. So I don't get frustrated that I don't want to cook because I don't want to have to clean three big pots kind of thing. And it
So
just,
I have a question then.
yeah.
What is the difference between like just minimalism or the men's game compared to like the Marie Kondo method? Like
They
they're
are
pretty
very similar.
similar, but yeah,
Mhm.
there's
Marie
like a
Kondo goes
difference,
about it
right?
in a different way,
Mhm.
where gives people a little bit more structure if they need that. But we have clutter everywhere, and being forced. I think the thing that is wrong in my head, in my opinion about hers, is that she has you start with clothes.
Okay.
Clothes are a very personal thing to a lot of people, right? For me to ask you to go into your closet and take all of your clothes out and go through them right now, you would probably feel stress and anxiety.
So I did the method
Mhm.
last summer. I cried a lot
I remember
because
you went through and you pared down a ton of
uh-huh,
clothes.
I
You
did. And
you
I
sold a
still have
ton.
too much, but I wear my clothes.
Yeah.
Like I actually wear everything. Some have a
So
different season and I put them away for that season and then unpack them for that season. Like I just got out all my winter sweaters and put away my summer stuff.
so if
But
I would have
I
asked
use
you
them.
to start with a random drawer in your kitchen, would you have the same
Oh, it's
amount of
easier for
anxiety?
me. No, there's a
Yeah.
junk drawer. It needs to
Yeah.
go.
So I think it all depends on how people's personalities work, on the order that you do things. Some people need that structure. Some people are okay being random. Some people say do all the public areas so that way you don't feel shameful when people come to your house. I don't like that idea either,
Yep.
right? That you're being forced to because you're ashamed of your home and your space. You shouldn't be
I
ashamed
hate
of that.
Yeah, I hate when friends apologize. They're like, "Excuse the mess," and I'm like, "You live here.
Yeah.
This is
Like
your house.
there's
I'm the
gonna be
guest.
dishes
Like,
in the
I'm the one
sink
imposing."
sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it all depends on the person. So for me, I always just say, walk to somewhere in your home and open up a drawer and start. Because
Yeah.
it's not going to be something that is going to happen right away. Some people go minimalist by just having a freak out, and over a weekend they completely throw everything away and then they're just good to go and they
That's
don't
what I do.
relapse.
Well, I relapse. I just get
Exactly.
I get a moment of a "Ugh."
So there is a statistic out there that we only use 20% of our stuff.
That makes sense.
I
And I don't
mean,
like that you're calling me out, Sam. You better stop it.
same here though. I consider our home a fairly minimalist home. We stop PR from coming into the house as much as possible. I mean, this is a PR shirt. It was Ben's and he didn't want to wear
Okay.
it, so I kept it, but it's cute. So, I'll keep it for now. But but we try to stop that kind of stuff. We try not to buy excessive things, um, et cetera, because I want that percentage to be a little bit higher. Like if I use 60% of the things in my home all the time, cool. Because that other 20% is probably like Christmas stuff and camping stuff
Yeah.
and things like
Holiday
that.
seasonal things.
Yeah, or like I don't play board games every day. But when I want to play board games, I like having my options of board games and every single one of them gets played with at some point or another.
Mhm.
Um or people that have hobbies and then they just don't know how much of the hobby item that they have because it's just
Yeah.
all built up in the back. Or if you're like me and you're a
Yeah.
hobby jumper, I jump hobbies quite often. And
Yours is all kind of in the same realm, though. It's
it's
usually
all
pretty
very
creative.
artistic. So like I
Yeah.
can kind of ebb and flow with it. But if you're living in this world of stress and chaos internally and externally and you have kids, they're going to see that and they're going to find that to be either normal or they're going to find that to be way too much chaos depending on their personality and they'll go figure it out on their own when they become an adult. But why not give them the tools to do that now so they
Yeah.
don't relive that feeling? And there's a difference between like dirty and cluttery. I can't help
Yeah.
you with if your house is dirty. But I
Wipe
can
it down.
I can help you if your house is cluttery, but I need all my paint. Maybe. Exactly. I have 2 bins of paint, of craft paint. Um, if the paint doesn't fit in there, I go through, if I like I need a new color, I go through and compile together the colors that are all the same into one bottle, and then now I have room. But
Smart way to look at
I
it.
can't buy more paint until I have room for the new paint, right? So it forces me
Yeah.
to then use the other paint in order to buy a new color.
Oh my gosh. So whenever I think of minimalism, I think of the opposite of what that is. Because I used to date somebody whose mom was like an extreme hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I would go to his house, literally there was just a little pathway from the front door to the kitchen back door, and then like up the stairs. Maybe one, you couldn't use the downstairs bathroom. Like it was just all blocked up, boxes everywhere, chairs everywhere. And like trauma had happened to where she got to that point, and that usually is kind of what happens with starting to hoard. You may have lost a lot of things back in the day or many other reasons. So it's a mental game as well, and it kind of stems from what we were talking about last week of it's not motivation, it's discipline. And it's finding that discipline. It is. And so I always think like, well, my house, like my house is, you can see everything. I just have like my corners of PR because I don't have anywhere to put it. Oh gosh. But I always think like, well, it's not even that bad because I've seen worse. So it's, oh gosh, it's fun. Maybe I'll do a bunch of giveaways. Who wants some giveaways?
Do that. Well, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
perfect thing.
It's a bunch.
I mean, do a monthly giveaway that if it that I don't know how you want to do it. PR is as public relations, brands will send us stuff to show people to get them to buy stuff.
Or you get a bunch of stuff at conventions.
But also then to get you to buy stuff.
Yes.
All to get you to buy things. Isn't that like I'm wearing my PR KK Slider shirt now, and a ton of you are probably thinking about Animal Crossing. And if you don't have Animal Crossing, you're like, man, I really wish I had Animal Crossing because that KK Slider shirt is cool. And I hear everybody talking about Animal Crossing. My shirt is selling you when it's not even meant to be. But everybody does such a good job, right, with that. And you talked about with somebody that was a hoarder. My grandma, when she passed away, so my mom's adoptive mom, when she passed away, my mom had to go down there. I was very young, so I didn't go down there with her, but she had to go down there, and it took her a week to get through everything because there was just stacks of newspapers. And how horrible is for somebody to have to deal with that while they're also grieving. They're also now having to deal with this physical pile of stuff on top of the emotional stuff that they're already dealing with. Like, I don't want if something happens to me in the future and I die, I don't want Charlie, especially because he's an only child, to have to go through and deal with
all of it.
80 years of my stuff. Right?
I don't think I thought about it that way. That's really important too.
Yeah.
Not to add the stress onto other people.
Exactly. Like in going through, and I know we'll talk about memories in a little bit, but just like keep that kind of stuff in mind. Is what is it only doing to you right now, but what is it doing to your child in the current present, but also in the future, or any family member? If you don't have kids and you die tomorrow, your parents might have to come through and deal with all your crap, and that's just a horrible thing to have to deal with, right? I mean, morbid talk, but it's something to think about. But back to where it doesn't mean that you have to have a certain number of things. There's the thing that's called Project 333. Have you ever heard of that? It's a clothing challenge thing where you have 33 items of clothing, not including undergarments, sleepwear, or activewear, and you wear those 33 items for 3 months. And that's all that's in your closet. I
already hate it.
But going through, maybe I really like wearing this extra pair of shoes, but now I have 34, so now I have to get rid of another shirt because the project name is 333. And that kind of stuff turns people off from minimalism so easily because they
I'm
feel
not
like
gonna lie, it's turned me off.
they don't fit in that little box,
Mhm.
right? And so as silly as it sounds, and as silly as the memes came out of 2019 with Marie Kondo, does this spark joy? It's that is true.
Mhm.
You don't need to be as cheesy as does it spark joy, but the minimalists who I can't remember their names. Not even gonna try to guess. But two guys, they have multiple documentaries. They literally just released one with one of my favorite YouTubers, Matt D'Avella, as well. On Netflix today. I'm almost done watching it. But they say, does this contribute to my best life? So
That's a
does
funny way
this
to put it.
random purple duct tape that I have, and I can tell you that I've had this duct tape for a very long time, since
Oh
college.
my gosh. What did I
Does it
have?
contribute to my best life? It's the only roll of duct tape I have.
Sam, I have from last year. Remember when I hurt my wrist?
Yeah.
Bought on Amazon because it was the cheapest, but it came with the most. 20 of these like kinesiology tapes, whatever the heck they are. And they're all just in this drawer. I barely went through half of one. I think they can go.
They can go too. But
I don't even touch this drawer because I know it's in there and I just know I don't need it.
does this purple duct tape that I just randomly reached down and grabbed off of my cart that I've been using for doing my punch needle help me live the most optimal life? It does. It's the only roll of duct tape that we have in our home, I believe. There might be one out in the garage. But this is the only roll of duct tape that we have. I use it to line all of my fabric for punch needling so it doesn't fray. This can stay, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need 20 of them. Are you sure?
20, right?
Why? I didn't even think about that drawer. Man, I'm gonna have fun. I might actually double up on my men's game this month.
Just do multiple months. Or if you want to double up, you can, because you know at the end of the month you're getting rid of about 60 items a day.
Or what if I make everyone in my household do it?
There you go.
There's 4 of us. So Leif can do his room.
We'll talk about getting other people to be minimalist as well. This could literally be like a multi-month long thing. I'm trying to condense it as much as I possibly can, and then we can expand on where people see the most need. But is minimalism trendy? I think so.
I think so. Well, yeah, especially because of the Marie Kondo thing. I think it definitely started becoming trendy. So.
Yeah. 2019 was Marie Kondo. 2020 was The Home Edit. Did you ever watch that show on Netflix?
No, I never saw that.
So The Home Edit is a social media account of 2 women, and they organize homes. But the way that they do it is everything is in matching clear acrylic containers, and it's all very Pinterest aesthetic, beautiful color rainbows, all that kind of stuff. It sounds very appealing, but you have to go buy all of the acrylic stuff to make it all match. So now you're leaning into consumerism again. So we saw a huge influx of home decor and home organizing supplies in 2020 because of the Home Edit. They have their own line at the Container Store. And they have a show on Netflix, and they have a huge following on social media. But while I think that their concept is great, the fact that everything has to be matching and cleared and clear and pretty doesn't necessarily help with minimalism, because now you have to go spend hundreds of dollars to organize your crap.
Yeah, that's like any influencer who like shows off their houses on social media.
Yeah, and it's totally a vicious cycle with that. So Marie Kondo, I think she started out really well, but she came in just so strong in 2019. 2020, Home Edit was basically like, yeah, now that you got some minimalizing done, or minimizing done.
Yeah.
Now put it in pretty containers and it'll just be okay. And then now we have the minimalists in 2021. Oh, that's 2021. Is that how you say that? 2021?
2021.
Yeah, but
2021.
2021 instead of 2020.
That's a long
Right?
number to say. Like 1991 was way easier.
And so now we have the minimalists. They're back. They've already had multiple documentaries, but now they're back on mainstream on Netflix. And I'm hoping that they can lead the proper way, the most optimal way for people to finally grasp and understand consumerism
Mm.
and adopt this lifestyle of less consuming of everything, not just physical stuff. Basically, if it stresses you out, it's not worth it.
You hear that?
You're
Y'all
not,
stress me out. Not
you're
worth
not
it.
worth it. Pile of boxes.
Get out of here. You're out of here. You're dead to
Oh
me.
man. So we talked about if it's trendy, do you think are people going to stick with it? Is this just like resolutions where it's trendy to make your pantry all clean and organized and pretty, but are you going to stay with keeping it clean and organized and pretty once the social media pressure falls off?
Mhm. I
Because
feel like I saw that with the Kardashians. Like they organized all of their kitchens and pantries and stuff.
one of the Kardashians was on the Home Edit show.
Is it Chloe
I only know
or Courtney?
Kim.
Oh,
I don't know. She has a daughter. That's all I know. Because the daughter had 6 little cars for her.
I think
kid.
that was Kim.
No, it wasn't Kim because she's the one I know.
They
There's
all
another
have
one.
daughters. Now that I think
Chloe.
about it.
Yes,
Every single one of
it's
them.
probably Chloe.
Yeah, her house is so clean. But then we also need to remember you're not seeing the behind the scenes. There's no way Chloe is cleaning that every single day.
Oh yeah, exactly.
She got house cleaners. So it's just unrealistic things that they're putting on social media. It's the same whenever you see somebody happy all the time. They're only showing you what they want.
Yeah, and in the documentary, the Less Is Now, which is the name of the documentary from the Minimalists and Matt D'Avella on Netflix, they said that keeping up with the Joneses, that's always been a thing. It's always been a phrase, and they are saying now but you were always comparing people that were in the same demographic as you, right? You were in the suburbs, you're comparing literally your neighbor. They're not going to be too far up or below you. Now we are vertical comparing. We are comparing our lives to Kim Kardashian. And we are comparing our lives to whatever actress that we think is really pretty and has the best hair. We're comparing our lives to whatever YouTube influencer has the most amazing car. And our comparison is going so vertical that we're comparing at least 6 to 7 steps sometimes of people in hierarchy of income.
Yeah.
And of course, we're not going to have a house like Kim Kardashian. We don't have Kim Kardashian money.
What?
So why? Yeah. So why are you comparing this super organized, fancy ass kitchen to yours that if you live in a small home or an apartment? Because you can't make one be the other.
I can tell you right now, I sure don't have the counter space that any house does.
Exactly.
So
So
we
it
definitely
just that vertical comparison goes back to social media and just, how social media sucks. It's amazing.
Yep.
But it sucks.
Influencing is a thing. Sometimes being an influencer is frustrating
Oh yeah.
because I don't ever want to push people to purchase one, things they can't afford. 2, things they don't need.
Mhm.
And 3, just things in general. Like I don't like telling people like you have to purchase this. I tried it for a little bit because like there's money there,
Mhm.
but I just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And it was mostly for my clothing, which I'm always down with. And did I tell you that for Christmas I got these pre-loved grandma sweaters?
Really?
Like they're literally it was like a mystery box of just grandma sweaters.
Oh no, you told me that. Yeah.
I did. Oh, I love
I
them.
didn't get to see them, but you'll have
My
to send me
Apple
pictures.
one, my like teacher one that I wore. That was one of them.
You were
Yeah.
my kindergarten teacher crush
know.
that day.
And I just thank you. And I just think about like, oh my gosh, having pre-loved stuff, you think about all the memories that somebody had in this. It's already worn in, it's not gonna shrink. It felt so good. And it's so cute. And honestly, you know what? Having a grandma fashion, I can always find it at any kind of thrift store.
It's like you can go to Goodwill and come out with armfuls of
I
clothes.
sure can. So oh my gosh, I'm definitely working on that and pushing people, of course, toward pre-loved stuff because it's still worth it and it's good. It's just how you make it.
Yeah. So this is going to kind of allude to a future episode. But this is something that Sam, you have been working on in the past year of intentional living.
Mm.
And minimalism and intentional living, I feel like go hand in hand. Basically, intentional living, I wrote down, is being able to tap into the things in life that bring you full joy. The work is required for them and is wanted and desired. It can be either a fast life or a slow life. But the work behind it is something that you enjoy doing. So, like gardening. Gardening is a whole ton of work, right?
Yeah.
The people that want to garden because they think it's trendy or they think it's cool, but they're not into it, it's not worth it
Mm.
because now you're just beating yourself up. Your plants are dying and you're stressed out. But if you are meant to be a gardener, you ache for being out in the dirt and taking care of your plants and watching them grow and consuming the food. That's your intentional living moment in that situation. If that stresses you out, don't have a garden. Go find a friend that likes doing it and pay them $10 to give you all of
Yeah.
your food for the like.
I'm not gonna lie. I want plants, real plants, so bad, but my lifestyle, my work lifestyle, doesn't allow for me to have that time to invest.
Mhm.
So I have fake plants in my house. And for the longest time we didn't because every time I was just like, no, I'll eventually have time for real plants. And then we invested in a few fake plants. And I can't tell you how much like serotonin I get every day looking at my fake plants. Like I wish they were real.
Right.
But yeah, like but I see it and I like just you see plants and you think of life. And I'm like, ah, it gives me kind of motivation to eventually get to that point. But they bring me so much joy. Like, don't worry, you don't have to have real plants, everybody.
I
But if
still
you can, I'm
50-50.
jealous.
I have some fake still and I have some real. And
Really?
yes, yeah, I still have half and half. Because there's just like some areas that I would really want a giant tree, but I don't want to spend $200 on a tree that I potentially will
Fake
kill.
plants are expensive. There are
Yeah.
cheap ways to find them on sale.
Yes.
What
Or
you're
like
saying.
Facebook. There
Yep,
are
people are
definitely
always
groups on
selling
Facebook
them.
that you can go and save people's plants that they don't want anymore.
Yeah, don't spend $200
Um,
on a fake plant.
so intentional living is something that, like I said, that you've been kind of looking into or been doing in 2020. Do you want to talk a little bit about a couple of the things that you've done? We won't spend too much time on this because we'll
Um,
do another episode on.
yeah, no problem. So I have tried to do my best. Like I went with more the Marie Kondo kind of method initially. Started with my clothes. Bad idea. Um, came back to that later. Because I have my closet color coordinated, so I know where everything is. And now whenever I make purchases of clothes that I think that I need, I can go to like that color and see if I still have it in that color. Like say I need a white turtleneck that would go with so many outfits. I have 2 of them. I don't need another one. So that's okay. So that's like where I've become more intentional with my purchases for my clothing attire because clothing brings me so much joy. I can't explain it. Um, but I've also looked into pre-loved things or small businesses. Oh my gosh, I have been loving a small business called Quartz General Store. Cutest things. Little pricier because small businesses do need to make the money. But if there's something that I don't have a piece of, but I know I will love a lot, then I can find the budget for it. So that's where I've been with like my clothing. And then I went through my entire house. We started with one room a week. So we did it patiently because it is so overwhelming. And like, say I started with my kitchen, we go through each drawer and we took out everything and filtered through what we need. what we would use, like potentially like, for holidays and things like that, or for bigger dinners and stuff like that. And then we got rid of what we really did not need. So we did that method all over the house. And I've been kind of flipping some of our rooms. Like I did my master bedroom and our bathroom. And that was so helpful. And now I feel good going into those rooms instead of stressed because things didn't have a place, even though they were used. So like we invested in a dresser, an extra dresser. My room is so eclectic. Nothing matches.
But it's so
But
you.
yeah, and I don't mind it actually. Like I think of Professor Trelawney and everything that's everywhere. That's like I am Professor Trelawney. And it was really helpful doing it that way because now I have spaces. So I feel like I took a method from everything. I did organizational, we did getting rid of and figuring out what we really need and use. Yeah, no, it's working. The office, this room, which I also share with my brother, has been the one we struggle with the most because I don't want to take my work stuff into my bedroom because it needs to go in here. But I only have this corner. And so when I walk in this room and I see this corner, I'm just like, I need to figure it out.
Get out of here, boxes. We don't
Yeah.
like you anymore.
Yeah, we told you. Why aren't you growing?
Why are you still here? So later on, giveaway on Sam's channel. Okay, twitch.tv.
I'm probably gonna do it.
Sam.
I'm gonna put away some like little giveaway bags. They're gonna be mystery. You're not gonna know what it is.
It's totally such a smart thing to do. You see YouTuber influencers that are like beauty influencers all the time. Just they're like, here's a box of stuff.
Yeah, I can tell you the general. It's all gaming stuff. Actually, I have makeup too. I have so much makeup, which thank you makeup brands, but I don't go through it quick enough.
Right? I can barely go through one palette of like eyeshadow palette a year kind of thing. Because
yeah, I still have the eyeshadow I'm wearing today. I've still had this eyeshadow powder for like 3 years, 4 years. Yeah, since like early streaming time. It works.
Yeah.
I don't have big eyelids.
There's not a lot of real estate on this.
Like 5 days a week.
So I feel like hearing you talk though, I feel like you are a minimalish.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, you talked exactly about the things that I did the same too. I just got so stressed out that I couldn't stay above water with my home. That I just picked a drawer and started. Ben and I have been on our minimalist journey for now almost 5 years. We're still, I don't think we're ever going to be in a situation where like, we're done. And that's okay. I kind of prefer it that way. I kind of prefer it to be an ever evolving thing. Because then I'm just constantly learning and I don't get too high on my horse that, I'm perfect because we have a clean home because we have minimal stuff. No, we don't. But
your house is so good, Sam. Please give yourself a lot of credit. Your house is really good. You've done amazing.
But I still have the skeletons in the closet kind of thing. I still have that closet that has too many pillows in it kind of stuff that I just need to go through and get rid of. So for me, started about 5 years ago and through multiple houses, and it just started. I just opened up a drawer. I think the first drawer that I did in this house was my cooking pots and pans and my Tupperware. Those are the 2 drawers that I started. And now all of my Tupperware have lids. And I don't have any random ones that don't fit together, and they all stack very nicely and stuff like that. I have bought one new set of food storage containers because I'm slowly switching to glass containers as my plastic ones get gross.
So, quick question on that then. Because, plastic is seen as an issue. Are you doing anything particular with those whenever you do get rid of them? Are you just recycling
If I
or
can recycle, I will. Otherwise, if they are to the point where, like, spaghetti uh,
yes, it does.
stains your Tupperware, and also, then you microwave it so many times it starts to bubble a little bit and everything like that. Those containers then turn into craft containers. So if I'm
Oh,
doing a paint project, I'll put paint in them, or they go out into the garage and I use them for other things until they are no longer usable there. And then I either, if I'm able to recycle them, I do, or I throw them away. But when you think about it that way, the money and the impact on the earth was already taken care of when I purchased them, not
yeah,
when I threw
that's
them
true.
away. So yeah, that's just kind of how I've started, is just one random drawer. That's all it takes, because you get that high and it's quick and it's easy. And then by the time you get to the hard stuff, like your memories and your clothes, I think those are the two hardest things for people. Um, you already feel like a superhero by the time you get there, because you already did all your whole entire house. And now your whole entire house feels nice and organized and clean, and your brain can grab onto what it needs to be happy and not worry about the excess stuff. For our marriage, it changed our marriage. Ben has ADD, and talking to him at the kitchen counter and there's stuff on the counter, all of a sudden I will notice that he is now digging through everything on the counter instead of listening to me. And that was one of the biggest reasons why I started, is to help his brain be more there, because it wasn't his fault that he couldn't focus on me when we were not making the effort to make our home a place that he can focus. And so as soon as we did that, it just changed. Our conversations changed. Our moods changed. We were able to actually spend more time together, because the house would be pretty much clean. It would only take me, right now, we have a multi-level home with multi bedrooms. And it takes me 20 minutes tops to run through and clutter pick up my home.
That's a dream.
And that's it.
I want to get there.
Right? And you, I mean, you guys said you live in an apartment. It should take you
Mhm.
no more than 10 minutes to run through and reset your home.
Mhm. Usually doesn't. It's mostly just dishes.
Yeah. Dishes
We just
suck.
gotta clean through that. Yeah, it's dishes and kitchen where it takes maybe 20 minutes its own
Yeah.
just to get through it all.
But I mean, you also have 4 people running through there.
Yeah. I'm grateful though, because I haven't been touching much of the house at all. It has mainly been the men of the house, so that I can be here. So that's been awesome.
face.
Yeah, but in
Um,
the end, I am the one causing the stress of the clutter in the house, and I need to help take that away from them as well.
So you
So,
talked about having everybody do our challenge, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But I wanted to kind of get all of the information out before we jump into this challenge, because most people get very
yeah.
excited and they just go diving in. And I want you to be prepared. Having other people in your home that might not be into your minimalism journey. It's difficult. It's frustrating, because you are so passionate about it now. You're on fire. You want to get rid of
Yeah.
all the things. You want to make everything so nice and pretty and organized. You want to open up your junk drawer and not actually have it be a junk drawer, because you can find your stamps finally and stuff like that. But so and so in your family doesn't find it necessary. You can't control that. So you can only control the things that only immediately affect you. So
Mhm.
that means your personal belongings. If you have an office, your office. Eventually, it usually bleeds out to everywhere else. But when you go through a public space, and let's say you guys both cook and you really dislike this one pan and you get rid of it, but that's your significant other's favorite pan to cook with, well, now you just caused way more harm than good, right?
Yeah.
So you can't touch the stuff that belongs to the family or belongs to other people unless they are on board. I've seen people so many times force their significant other to go through their clothes and get rid of clothes, or they just do it for them. And then they're like, why did you get rid of my favorite shirt to go do the mow the lawn in, because
Yeah.
that one is my favorite one because it's light and it's breezy, whatever kind of thing. And you're like, I didn't know.
If I throw away my husband's clothes, he won't have clothes.
He won't.
He has like nothing.
No, I'm
He
gonna
is
touch
a
my pants.
minimalist.
Like your favorite stirring spoon that got thrown out. Exactly. To somebody else, it was clutter. To you, it was necessary. And
Mhm.
so when you get to the public spaces, it definitely is a mutual thing. Now, your
Mhm.
idea of having everybody do their own spaces will work if they're on board.
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
think it'll be
kids.
good with Leif.
Yep, I've
Leif
seen
loves
kids
getting rid of
do
stuff.
the men's game, which is what we're our challenge for this month. And they've enjoyed it. And they might not finish the whole entire month because kids don't have like a ton of stuff.
Mhm.
And that's okay. So before one more thing, how to get rid of stuff. Ultimately, you get so excited that you just want to put it in all into a box and you just want to chuck it, or you just want to all give it to Goodwill or Salvation Army and be like, now it's your problem. But properly disposing of your stuff is the most important part of this, because if you just give Goodwill a pile of junk, they're not going to even go through it to try to find the good things. They're just going to go chuck it all into the trash. Majority of donations, sadly, just get thrown away because they get so many donations that they don't have time to go through and find the good tea towels compared to the ones that have stains that you were just too lazy to figure out what to do with. And so finding a good place to donate, shelters. You can have your opinions on Goodwill or Salvation Army.
Yeah.
We personally do Goodwill. It's close to us.
We do Goodwill. It's close to us.
Salvation Army is just not one of our favorite places. I know people that don't like Goodwill because of how they run their corporate system. So, it's kind of a catch-22. But then we also do have like local shelters that we like to give certain items to. Like my clothing, I like to try to give them to women's shelters if I can.
Yeah, makeup. They love unopened makeup.
Yep.
Women's shelters.
Yep. And so when I don't need professional clothing anymore. I've never needed professional clothing, but I got rid of all my professional clothing and I took them to the women's shelter. So now those women can potentially have nicer clothing to go get a job and then get out of the shelter. And then obviously recycling what you can, recycling tech, recycling plastic, all the cardboard boxes that hopefully you're going to be taking apart. If you are going through your garage, making sure that you recycle your paint and your chemicals correctly. Do that research.
Yeah. Also, I know it's hard in some states, this is just US in particular, to figure out where to recycle stuff, because in Louisiana, there's not a lot.
Mm-mm.
Like every time I go back home, I'm just like, where do we recycle the bottles? Because I'm so into it here in California, because like it's a thing. And so look up your locations as well if you're not quite sure. It's confusing. Unfortunately, it's not available everywhere as easily. But it is there. You just might have to do a little extra work.
Yeah. So men's game.
Yeah, tell us about it. I'm excited.
Are you ready? If you are a part of my community and spend time on my Instagram, you might have done this in 2019. Hi, Jess. Sorry. In 2019, I believe it was 2019. Yeah, I didn't do anything of more than 2020 with this. In 2019, we did the men's game. This is made by The Minimalists. It's the two men that have the documentary that came out today. And basically, it is an easy way to start your minimalism journey and make it fun. So today is January 1st. You're going to get rid of one item in your home. Tomorrow is January 2nd. You're going to get rid of 2 items. And then the third, 3 items, all the way up to January has 31 days. So 31 items on the last day. And you're thinking, excuse me, how am I going to find 31 items? I have a drawer right here full of pens and markers.
I got tape.
I bet you. Yeah, how many of those little thingies do you
I
have?
get rid of 20 of them.
There's 20. I bet you I can go through, and all my markers are color coordinated. So when I pull this, it's going to be a lot of pinks and oranges. I can go through and probably find at least 3 of these that don't work anymore. There's 3.
Oh, finding dry markers. That's
it's
always
so
a journey.
fun though. You get a big old piece of paper and turn on some
Fun,
music,
she says.
and then you just.
Here I am.
love
It's
it.
like, oh, this is so much work, and she's like, yes.
Yes. Oh, add the tape into your giveaway. Someone else might need your tape.
You want tape? You got wrist problems? I got you, BBs.
I have wrist problems.
Oh yeah, we did that, right? You can't bend
Yeah,
yours or whatever.
where I can't bend any more than this, but this hand can go straight up and down.
Oh my gosh, speaking of, can you do this? We figured out I could do this on stream. I've never done it before.
Oh.
Wow. Anyway, so yeah.
Tricks.
That's a trick.
Anyways, so that means that you're getting rid of over, I think it's like just shy of 500 items. Well, I guess with 31 days, it'd be
What?
over 500 items at the end of the month.
I'm about to do some math. What? Okay, here we go. What is it? 31 plus 30 plus 20. You can talk while I do this.
No, I'm watching this.
28 plus
Isn't there an easier way of
27
doing this?
plus probably 26 plus 25 plus 24 plus
Also, just
23
look it up.
2. Shh. I'll do the work. Plus 21 plus 20 plus 19 plus 18 17 plus 16
It's 465.
plus 14 plus 13 plus
496 if you do 31 days.
plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 well, okay, it's 496.
So this month we are gonna, if you're gonna join us, all collectively get rid of 496 items from our homes by the end of the month. We
Cool.
have a hashtag. If you guys want to join us, it'll be hashtag TMW. I'm gonna type it. Are you gonna type it?
I was first. There you go. That's the other one.
I just started clicking things started popping up.
We shut down the stream.
Is OBS still going? Okay, because it was flashing orange at me.
It's here to break stuff.
Anyways, 496 items. By the end of the month, you're going to use hashtag TMW for the magic word MINS on either Twitter or Instagram. We're going to be joining you as well. I don't know exactly where I'm going to post yet. But
Mine's mostly going to be on Insta.
You're just going to be on Insta? Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe you and I should maybe do little updates on the magic word Twitter. Maybe weekly.
Sure.
We can go through and like show a few of our pictures of whatever. So you're going to take a picture of your items. You're going to hashtag it with TMW Mins. And we're going to hold each other accountable to do this. So
You're really going to have to hold me accountable. I'm not going to lie.
I'm afraid when I ask this next question, chat is not going to move at all. But if you are here and you are going to be a part of this, I want you guys to do some kind of heart or love emote. Delay, because then I'm like, nothing's happening.
Here, I'll go first.
Yeah. Yours is the first one that I could find.
You got this, Jess. Y'all got this.
You're going to try?
Together.
And the best thing is it's not as hard. Because remember, when we're done, you're just going to stand up and turn around and grab the first thing for day one. When you wake up tomorrow morning and you think about it, look around your room and grab 2 items.
You best believe my tape's the first one.
Your tape's the first one. Mine is a candle that I got from Twitch. Sorry. They sent us like a 2020 care package, and I opened up the candle and smelled it, and I instantly had a headache, and it's been sitting in my candle basket for 3 months, and I feel bad. So don't make this a structured thing where you have to start with this, and then you have to go to that, and you have to go to this. You will eventually find the rhythm and the groove yourself by the time you get to day 4. You're gonna know. Because once you start feeling good about it, then you're like, well, wait, my linen closet, I have 12 towels and there's only 3 people in this home. You don't need 12 towels when you have 3 people in the home, unless you're using all of them on a consistent basis.
We have 2 per person.
We have
So
about
what is
2 per
that,
person
8?
too. Charlie has 3, but Ben and I have 2, and then we have our set for our guests.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a set for guests. We also have like 2 just ratty towels to clean up cat pee.
We have
We need our ratty towels.
Yeah, we have the old towels too that are if we need to use them for projects, or we use
Yep.
them if Charlie has his kinetic sand out, they go on those
Mhm.
ones. They
Or
can
someone
be
gets
used
sick.
yeah, for anything. Yeah, for when people are sick, we line the
Mhm.
couch with those towels.
Yep, dirty towels. That's what they are. They've got like
Yes.
bleach stains randomly, old paint stains.
But remember, us having 2 towels per person works for us. It might not work
Mhm.
for you. You might need
That's true.
7 towels because you change your towel every single day and you do laundry once a week.
Sorry, that's a lot of towels to go through for one person.
One thing you might not need though is like 5 sets of sheets per bed.
No, we have 3.
Someone once told me that 3 was the number that they had. And I was like, oh, that makes total sense. And years ago, I bought a 3rd set of sheets.
You don't really need it. We keep it as a just in case we have a guest and need to put it on their guest bed.
We have one set. So we have a guest room, and then we have an extra set to go on the couch. That's just a flat sheet.
Mhm.
For some reason,
Yeah,
I just feel
we have,
weird
like,
having
2 for
people
us
sleep
change
directly
for
on my
every
couch.
day. Well, Sam, whenever you have a small apartment, sometimes
So I
people
put
have
the
to
sheet
sleep on
down,
the
so there's like
couch.
that barrier between the person
Oh, that's
and the
what you
couch.
meant. I thought you were judging my couch sleepers. We about to talk.
No, I sleep on my couch all the time. It's a giant bed, basically.
Okay. Yeah, same with ours. It's so deep.
So, but for the 3 sets of sheets, I was like, well, why do you have 3? And they're like, well, you have 1 on your bed, you have 1 in your closet, and 1's in the laundry. And I was like, why are you designating a set of sheets to be dirty all the time?
Yeah. No, you wash it that day and then you put it in the closet.
And so
And then it's just there to change later.
when I switched our bedding, and even before I switched, so when we got our new bed and I got my new sheets to fit my new bed, I only got 2 sets of sheets. And now that we switched our bedding because cats are assholes and decide to puke all over my comforter all the time, we have the Betties, which are easier.
Oh my gosh, by the way, we have it too for Leif.
Yeah.
Oh my
Isn't
gosh, I
it?
love it.
Right?
Oh,
See, I only
that's
promote
just
things that I love.
Yeah, 15% off with Mrs. Dr. Lupo.
They had a really, really big sale this week too. So if you want to know about Betty's, go to my Instagram. So when we got the Betty's, I only got 2 sets. Because, you know, inevitably you're going to be sleeping and it's going to be right before bed and the cat's going to puke on your bed and you need something to sleep with, right? So Charlie has 2 sets. I have 2 sets. The guest room only has 1 set. And that's it. We don't need any more than that. Yeah, I could even probably get away with only 1 set if I didn't have kids or animals, right? Because you just
you just wash it that day.
Wash it and put it back on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that
That's
might
what
not
we
work for
did for
some
the
people.
longest time.
Yeah. If you have a kid that is potty training and they pee the bed a ton, you might need temporarily more than 1 set of sheets. So
That's true.
keep that in mind with your lifestyle, especially with closets and drawers. Because a lot of those times, those things just get shoved full. You don't see them on a daily basis. And so you just forget about it. When you get to memories and storage rooms and stuff like that, you should know what's in every box. I thoroughly believe that. If you have a box that you're like, it's memories from high school. Okay. Obviously, currently, you do not need those memories because you don't know exactly what's inside there. So open it up, flip through it. It might be something that you thought was really, really cool to keep when you were 16, but now that you're in your 30s, you're like, why in the world? Do you want to know the thing that I kept?
What?
I kept my mummified chicken breast from elementary school. It followed me for multiple years until about 4 years ago. I finally threw it away. You want to know what, though? I did a damn good job mummifying that chicken breast because it did not smell at all.
Disgusting.
When we learned about mummification in elementary school, we mummified a piece of chicken.
No, ma'am.
And we had to make a tomb out of it, or a tomb for it. And mine was a Pop-Tarts box that I painted white. And it sat inside that Pop-Tart.
At least. Is it cooked?
No. It wasn't. Why the hell did I keep that? When I was in elementary school, I was really proud of myself. And I made a really cool box. And it was all glittery and gold. And I thought that it was very important. And then it just got put in a box because I told my parents to keep it. When I went off to college, they gave me my box of memories. I never looked at it. And then I moved into a house. And I'm like, I'm going through this. You're gagging? Yeah, I was gagging too. I made Ben literally throw up in his mouth when I showed it to him.
It's getting worse, y'all.
Okay, I'm 34. We did this in like 4th grade.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Mama.
And I got rid of it right around when I was like very low 30s. Okay? Go through your memory boxes. It's gonna be a rough day when you do. But go through them, because nobody needs to hold on to a mummified chicken breast for that long.
I am impressed, though. That is actually quite impressive.
Thank you.
Of course.
See, it was a pride thing. You were happy to be like, look what I did. It 100% was. I was very proud of myself. I also wanted to see if it actually worked. So instead of like trusting research and science, right? You know, because those Egyptians knew what they were talking about. I decided to defy them and be like, I'm going to hold on to this for 20 plus years.
You sure did.
You Egyptians, you know nothing.
Have you ever tried a chicken? Humans, get out of here.
Oh, I had love letters from old boyfriends that reading through them.
Same.
You don't need that.
You don't.
Because if you're not with them, you probably don't want to have any memories of them. Right?
Oh my gosh. I remember a breakup with a boyfriend. I created this like styrofoam piece. It was like a heart, and I made both of us in it, like little characters. And I don't know what the hot tool was that you use, but you like shave off the styrofoam to shape it. And I was so proud of that. Even after the breakup, I was like, you know what? I hate you, but like I worked so hard on this. So I kept it for a while. And then like whenever it was time to really just let go, I broke it in half. And can I tell you how satisfying that was?
That's like the same as going out back and burning everything.
And just like really away. Just I mean, I felt kind of bad because like I worked hard.
That's a perfect way of recycling your old love letters. Is just go put them in a trash can in the back and burn them and just get rid of that energy. Because why are you carrying around not real love potentially from when you were in 7th grade?
Unless you like torturing yourself and reading about it all over again.
Exactly. You know, journals are different things. Journals are different things.
Oh gosh.
I keep journals.
I do too.
And I have, so Ben and I each have 2 memory boxes.
Oh,
and that is how much we have personally allotted ourselves. They're like the big, you know, I always say 5-gallon, but that always feels like way too small. But you know, like the big tubs.
Are they the big tubs? Yeah, that's a 5-gallon. I think.
Is it 5 gallons? Or that just seems like such a small number for how big that
Maybe
thing
it's not. Let's look up big gallon tubs.
Yeah. Storage containers.
Oh no, it's giving me paint containers.
Okay.
Storage
containers. 18-gallon is what this one from Target is. So I think ours is like 18. A 25-gallon one. Okay, 5-gallon seemed way too small, so good thing. So we have 2 of those each.
Nice.
And that's it. If something I want to keep doesn't fit in there, then I go through it and remove something that I no longer need as a memory. I don't really care about my 7th grade graduation yearbook.
Why not?
I recycled that this year.
I actually don't have much.
And that's
memory stuff.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's because whenever the life trauma stuff happened with my family. We lost our house and lost everything in it, including all of our memories. So I've been building new memories.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, that works out. I didn't have to hold on to anything. But I also don't have stuff. So now I just get to make new ones, which might also be a part of my hoarding too. Like that could have been trauma that I just have to deal with.
That's
like
where
I
most
said,
of
like
that
trauma
comes from.
could stem. Yeah, like you lose things and you feel like you have to hold on to it now before you lose it again.
So it's a good thing that I kept this here from was it last week or the week before?
Yeah, it was last week.
No, it was 2 weeks ago. It was the traditions episode. Yeah, so this was 2 weeks ago.
There.
She has still been laying on my desk for 2 weeks. It shows you how much Charlie plays with her. This was in one of my memory boxes, but this is my only memory of being a newborn that I have. It's the shirt that I came home from the hospital in. That's
my parents have ours. We do have that, but they have them like all framed in pictures, and then underneath is our baby picture.
That's cute,
but I don't have it.
Yeah. So PMW Mins, one item for each date of the month. Post on Instagram or Twitter with that tag. You can tag us if you want to as well.
Do you think we should go over some of them next week, like live?
Yeah. Stories is difficult because they disappear and you can't watch hashtags on stories easily. If you click on a hashtag on a story, it takes you to posts and feeds.
Yeah. So Instagram posts and Twitter posts.
Mm-hmm. What do I do with yearbooks? I kept my senior yearbook and that was it. Otherwise, you just recycle them. So now that we have our challenge out to you guys and we start having some questions pop up, throw the questions at us, whether it's about the men's game, whether it's about minimalism. Like I said, this was a whole ton of information crammed into 1 hour and a half long episode because it could be weeks that we work on this kind of stuff and talk about it.
It'll be fun. I have a question though, before we open it up to everybody else while y'all write yours. Are you immediately like tossing things away or donating them, or do you collect them all for the month? What are you doing? Does it depend on item sizes or types, or
I basically
organize it first? What do you do?
Set up a station. So Charlie's still in pull-ups. So man, are those diaper and pull-up boxes like the most ideal size to just, carry stuff around. So I set up a station where I put stuff to donate. Things that need to be tossed or recycled, they automatically go out to the recycling bin or they get tossed. You are not finished until it leaves your home. And that does not include sitting in the back of your car for 3 months. You are not finished with the challenge until everything leaves your possession. So you will see people that have boxes of things that need to be donated to Goodwill or whatever out in their garage. That was me, but that was also when everything was closed at the beginning of the year.
Same with ours.
It doesn't count because now you just moved all of the clutter out into another area that then you have to declutter again. How did you know about the back of my van? See, it does not count until you get rid of it. Also, this does not allow you to go out and buy new stuff.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that next week, but I'm glad that you did it this week.
Intentional living, we will talk a lot about we'll talk a lot about consumerism next week. Because this thing knows everything about you. I don't know about you, but I have location services turned off at all times, except for when I'm using an app that needs it, like Maps or something like that.
Like a map, yeah, same.
I don't order things through my Alexa.
I don't either.
I don't, but you click on one website and then all of a sudden the ads are everywhere because people pay good money for that.
Or you're talking to your phone and then it suddenly is showing you all of those ads too.
Yeah.
Consumerism's going to get you. Careful.
And it's scary. And so we will talk about intentional living and consumerism a lot next week. But for example, I only do an Amazon order every other week. And if it sits in my cart and after 2 weeks I still need it, then I will order it. If I'm like, why did I put this in here? I don't need this. And I just take it out. And usually I end up
Order.
clearing out my whole entire cart and then I don't have anything in there again. But if I'm like, man, this is a really cool thing I saw on TikTok. You know, there's the one girl that's like things you didn't know you needed off of Amazon. And that's her whole job is to
Yeah.
promote consumerism because she probably gets a really good kickback from Amazon.
I follow so many influencers like for household and clothing and stuff like that, and I have to mute their stories so I'm not tempted. Like if there's something that I super desire outfit wise, if I really can't find it in a pre-loved area, then I might consider purchasing it. But oh no, that's dangerous. Mute people.
Yeah.
It's for your sake and your wallet.
So, what other questions do you guys have then about minimalism or about men's games? Maybe where to start, maybe other documentaries or people to follow about minimalism. We are here for all of those.
So
You've watched those and they're super addicting. Yeah, I fell into one of them. I don't know where it is because Charlie played with it. But I got the Bluetooth brush to paint with on my iPad. It's pretty sweet. But I also did keep it in my cart for a whole month and I still really wanted it afterwards.
problem
My
is your
problem is the boys'
stuff.
stuff. Ha, jinx. All the cute things they bring home from school and I feel bad throwing it away. We can have a whole conversation about kid stuff from school and art.
Can we actually make that a segment this month? Because I would like to talk about it too.
Yeah.
Because I struggle there also. Like I've thrown away little things, but like whenever he makes more extravagant, more time put things, I'd have like a box for it. But it's just a box for it. But my parents did it too, where they had like this huge filing cabinet with each of our names, and we each had art stuff in there. And it was so cool seeing it 15 years later. And I was like, whoa, this was really nice to see. So I don't want to throw everything away, but it's like, which ones do you keep?
We keep specific ones that actually show, like if there's a handprint, we will most likely keep that.
Yes.
And then ones that actually showed that Charlie did the full effort himself. He's only 5. So, but in preschool, they come home with like, here's a sun. And you can tell that Charlie put like 3 dots of paint on it. And then the teacher just spread it out for him. We're not going to keep that.
Also, you don't need to keep the gallon man. Did y'all ever make the gallon man?
No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you like make a gallon and then it's like how many cups are in a gallon and you make that the arms and the feet. And then it's like how many or quarts or whatever is in that and you make like the head and it's cute. You don't need to keep it.
No.
It turns out massive.
Take pictures. Take pictures of
Yeah,
them.
that's a
So
good
have a
thing, yeah.
setup that when things come into your home, maybe you have a white tile floor in your laundry room or mud room or whatever, and the kids bring their backpacks into there. Have a consistent setup. Take a picture on your phone. Make it into a book.
Oh, that's a cute idea.
Because then you can keep everything, right? And instead of keeping a stack of loose papers that are probably going to be about this thick, you can make it down to a book that's about that big.
Yay thick.
And then, because it's stuff like mixed books or chat books, stuff like that, you can automatically just have it upload. And then when it's full, it orders it for you and then it gets sent to your house. So something like that would be a great thing to do. And then, or just have one per year. So take all the pictures and then say, well, I'm only going to have a 30-page book for little Jimmy's first grade. And so then you can put pictures from like all of his school assemblies that he goes to and stuff like that mixed in with there. If he wrote a really cool story, you can take pictures of the story and put it inside there so you can read it and you don't have to keep the actual thing. And then you just have a book.
I struggle so bad throwing away life stuff. I'm a very sentimental person, super sentimental, and sometimes just taking a picture is not enough. Like I want to touch it, I want to feel what he felt, and I want him to feel what he felt later. But I think the picture thing would be quite useful for smaller things, like a little story or something like that. But I don't know. I the items.
We
The
have a
cool
bin.
stuff.
We have
We do too. Leif
yeah, we
has
have
his
a
own
small
like
bin,
bin.
not like the giant ones, but it's maybe only about this big or so. And
Mhm.
that is going to hold all of his stuff until he graduates. And then he can go through it. And if there's things that he
Mhm.
thinks is cool, then he can keep. And we will together throw away the stuff that we don't communitively find a memory.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yes.
um.
Another one.
It's difficult, Mama. This for sure, on the parent side as well, because like a lot of us don't look at our child's art and are like, okay, time to toss it. We struggle with it because you're just like, this is very sweet. Like they took the time, but you also have to make sure you're not cluttering and saving things that shouldn't be saved.
Yep.
So it's
Somebody
it's a double-edged
asked
sword.
different YouTubers and podcasts. I'm going to drop a few names in.
Yeah, Sam probably has a lot.
Ashlyn Eaton is one of my favorite ones. She's very much into minimalism, but intentional.
Instagram?
She's on Instagram.
I think I follow her.
Sarah Therese is another one for families, people that have families. Matt Day, how do you spell his last
Yeah, I
name?
follow her. I follow her because of you.
Yeah. Matt Deavella is amazing. You should look up the minimalists too. This is just off the top of my head. Who else do I like the minimalist there is one that's called Minimalish. What's her?
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Minimalish.
From someone who has a hard time letting go in things, do you have any tips on how to let go of stuff? I feel like the men's game will help with that. Because you can start small. Like you have a pen that probably doesn't work right, toss it. That's your day one. So it doesn't have to be like going through your clothes right away if you're someone like me who struggles with that, or going through your child's art or things that they grew up with. You can start with things that are a little easier to handle. If you have that extremely rusty pot, that talk to whoever you need to talk to, but like maybe that needs to go too. You don't need to put yourself through suffering to get through this. I feel like that's definitely important to remember because you don't want to hurt yourself in this process. This is helpful. And it's supposed to be may not be super fun sometimes because you are probably going to get to something and be like, do I really need this? Like I use it or I could use it, but it's like, when are you going to use it? Is it that random day, maybe 3 years ago when you plan to break your wrist and you need that brace again? Or you can get rid of that, pray you don't break your wrist, and just maybe get another one later on whenever you really need it. So there's a lot of toss up. Do you have tips, Sam? Because I know you're much better.
No, you actually were saying everything that I was very happy to hear you say, because that's exactly it. It's so fun because I remember we had this conversation like a year or so ago with me and you.
Mom.
You're such a big girl. You're leaving the nest now.
You've taught me a lot, and I'm excited to learn more and actually do the men's game because I did not do it. I just watched you do it. And I remember watching you go through those later days, and you were like, I don't know what to go through. And then like you'd come back to Instagram later that night and be like, I'm so silly. I have all of this in this random drawer that I don't need.
Bathrooms
and I was like,
and closets in your kitchen are the things that clutter the most.
Yeah.
How many different face washes do you have?
2.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm on Accutane and everything.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go.
I need very gentle.
When I'm decluttering, I also think about the last time I've used the item. And if it's longer than 3 months, I'm tossing it. For the most part, that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, I don't follow that one. I struggle with that one because it doesn't work for me personally.
For obviously stuff like Christmas items, obviously you're going to use those once a year.
Yeah.
But you can even be minimal in Christmas items. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 containers, not even just tubs, but 5 containers of Christmas stuff plus our tree box. And that
Yeah.
is everything.
We have our tree box and one tub.
In one
and then
tub?
like an extra like broken down box that just has some ornaments shaped in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have much at all for Christmas.
So yeah, like,
Mainly because I don't have the storage. I don't need
and
any more.
that's the same thing for me. If it's not going to fit on the shelf, I'm not going to, I can't have it, right? If I can't fit
Mhm.
it on this shelf, then it's not for me. Or I have to get rid of something else in order to allow it to fit.
Yeah, but I know that method works with people with like clothing. It
Mhm.
doesn't work for me because even though I may not wear it now, I'm gonna wear it. I wear my clothes.
Do the backward
and I
hanger
love
trick.
it.
Have you heard
I
that?
have. Yeah, but I feel like I start reaching for those items then more. And so I find myself
Good.
wearing them again.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I just need a bigger closet. Like
When
honestly though, our closet is small. It is not a master closet.
when I
It's not my
do
fault.
our laundry, before I hang up all the clothes that I just washed, and if you guys know anything about me, you know I hate laundry, so it always is just like piles, and we're left with little left to wear. I go through the clothes that are left in the closet, and I'm like, why haven't I worn this? It's been probably almost a month since I've done laundry. Why have I not worn this shirt yet? Is it because it's out of season? Okay. Is it because it's like going out fancy clothes? Obviously, I'm not doing that. Like I have a small section of what I call my party convention clothes, where it's like 3 or 4 different shirts that I interchange and stuff like that. But you just flip all your hangers if you want to. And then when you put your stuff back in, put the hangers in correctly. And after 3 months, a season, if you have seasons, then see why you haven't worn the items that are already in there. Because again, you're only using 20% of the stuff that you have in your home. That's crazy. Our closet is 95% Sam stuff.
Yes, it is.
Ben has more
What?
t-shirts
That's
than
what I
me.
Same.
He has 2 rows of t-shirts.
That's why I said if we get rid of Dak's stuff, sorry, he's out. Like it's my stuff. But I love them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Like
Yeah.
my
My
closet,
fingers feel.
I'm looking around. Literally, my office is not what you would consider a minimal office because I love art supplies. So I have art supplies everywhere.
Talking about that floating pot is not part of our minimalism.
Oh, we need to declutter our background.
Should we declutter our bookshelves?
We have too many plants.
Oh no! Did we water them? Oh yeah, we watered them this morning. We always
Yes.
water them every morning.
Yeah, we watered them for 5 minutes straight.
Yep. We drowned them.
Oh my goodness. Are there any other questions? Are you guys excited? What is the thing that you're most worried about in your home as far as decluttering? We still haven't named the kitty, by the way.
Yeah, still haven't named the kitty. That'll come with time, we're sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
Everyone
we'll
will
call
start
it Mince.
suggesting the same name over and over and over again.
Call it Mince.
Minz? Oh, he could be Minz.
The Mince.
Our closet is mainly my stuff. Steven has a small section of clothes and he keeps his uniforms in his office for the most part. Kitty's name is Kitty. If you're worried about sticking with it, then post it online.
Yeah. Tag us. We'll keep you. And we're going to talk about this every week this month, even if it may not be the whole show. We're going to touch base on it probably at the beginning, like talking about like, hey, how was it for you this week? Because it's going to be tough. There are going to be moments. And if you forget a day, you got to add it on.
So if you forget day 7 and you're on day 8, then you got to add 7 and 8 together.
Yeah, I don't want to do the math, but you get it.
Yeah, I don't know the math either. 15, because 7 and 7 is 14.
I did it the opposite. I said 8 plus 8 is 16, so it's 15.
There you go. My books, I love reading, so the thought of having to go through them and get rid of them stresses me out so bad. Then don't. There's no reason why you can't have a whole wall full of books if they all bring you joy, if you've read them. Now, here's the thing to go into intentional living. Do you have books on your shelf that you haven't read yet? But then you're still going out and buying new books.
Yeah.
Probably read the books that you currently have.
Same with video games.
Mm-hmm.
You need to buy another game if you haven't finished the other 15.
Exactly. I have a hiding problem where I have to straighten up. I just throw stuff in closets and drawers and can't find them, hoping to break this habit to make it life easier to reset. Exactly. Books I donate to my local library so I can still go grab them whenever I wanted to. Oh, that's a good idea.
A good way with clothing in that aspect, that I have learned is how you fold things to see them. Make them visible to you. There are different like hacks and stuff that I'm sure you could find of how to fold things so that you see everything that is in that drawer so that you're not like just stacking them and you only see maybe 4 shirts when you've got like 16 under there.
Hmm.
Uh, that way it helps you see what you have available to wear and not feel like you have to go and purchase another white long sleeve turtleneck because you're like, oh, there it is.
That's the one thing I picked up from Marie Kondo is how to accordion fold.
Yes.
And we do that. Our pants are all accordion folded, so Ben can open up his drawer and just grab the sweatpants that he wants. And
Yeah.
he's
My
good
brother
to go.
likes to do the rolling technique. We started doing that with Leif's clothes only.
Okay.
And then my brother does it. I don't do that one. I don't know why. I feel like it takes up more space, but maybe that's just me.
With rolling.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't
a
think
fan
I
of
can
rolling
think
because
of
then it just gets so wrinkly in the center. That's just
Yeah.
me. Maybe I just roll too tight. Who knows?
Because you're trying to get that space back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even
But
packing,
like
I'm like, this does not work for me.
so with books, I need help with my Animal Crossing storage getting full. Exactly. Seriously, that is hoarding to the max. My storage is always full. And I'm like, but I
Bring
might
Eric.
need this couch one day, but I could just order it again. But I don't want to waste the money kind of thing. It's such a silly thing.
But
But
yeah,
with
that's why I have Catalog Island because I just started dumping them.
just gave it all. So you're just passing all of your stress and storage
I-
off to Eric.
Are y'all ready for all of the stuff over here?
Eric, get a whole other section for PR ready.
Hey, it helps out though because now it brings joy to so many people.
There you go. It was stressing you out. You emptied your storage, and now it makes other people happy.
My hoarding helped.
Yeah. But back to books. If having a whole wall of books is what makes you happy, but your bookshelves are full, maybe don't go buy another bookshelf to fill up with books. Maybe hit up your library. Maybe ask friends if you want to do book trades. We have a book trade going on in our neighborhood currently. That there is a Facebook group of all the women in the neighborhood, and when they're done reading a book, they just post a picture of it, and then somebody says me, and then they go and drop it off at their front porch. And
cute.
we use the library. We use the library a ton. I have certain books that I'll buy from certain authors no matter what because I love those authors. And I just got a couple books, a new series that I'm excited to read that I know because I already read part of it from the library book that I will like the whole series. So I had the whole series purchased for me.
Yeah, you tried it before you bought it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many options to do that. Renting stuff before you buy something is something that's not used very often. And there's so many options to do the whole try before you buy thing, or maybe just try and you don't need to buy it because you can easily get access to it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, I know I'm really bad at this, but it's the same with clothes. You usually, if you don't like them, you can send them back. I just hate sending things back most of the time. So I just kind of accept it and give it to somebody else. I regift. I'm a regifter.
Oh, yeah,
so
same
like
here.
if I get something, then I will just gift it away. I just don't like sending things back. But you can. That is usually an option.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you're stuck with something like I do. Do as I say, not what I do.
So I found after I decluttered my books and bought a Kindle, I missed having physical books. Now I use the library or buy physical copies if I want to also collect them like classics. I don't like reading digitally. I see it, and then below that is just everybody talking about digital books. I can't do it. I
Same.
need the physical copies, but I go to
I
used
need them
bookstores.
hardback too. I'm a hardback girl.
Oh yeah, same here. Used bookstores. Why go to Barnes Noble if you can go to, is it like Books A Million or Half Price Books?
Oh my gosh, Books A Million is where I got the scar on my forehead.
Okay, don't go to Books A Million because Sam has trauma from that, but
It's from a Pokemon tournament.
oh no.
I got shoved into a bookshelf, sliced my face.
Yes, or a local bookstore. If you are going to buy something brand new, always try to do it local. So we talked about habits last week, right? Yeah, it all blends together. We talked about habits last week. And two of the habits that I am creating for myself for the year of 2021 is I am not buying any more stationery items. Pens, markers. I showed Sam before. I bullet journal. I love to draw. I have an obsession with trying new pens and feeling out like the flow of them. It's just like a whole thing for me. I have a whole drawer. You already saw this. Plus like another bag, plus a couple containers on top of this of markers and pens and colored pencils. I'm not buying any more. If something dries out, too bad. I will find something else that is like it that I already have.
There you go.
And my other thing is I'm not buying any brand new clothes other than undergarments, socks, underwear, bras, or activewear, because I have my brand of Girlfriend that I really love, but they have a very low carbon footprint. So I feel better about that. Unless it is from a local or a small business. So if I have friends that have like merch, stuff like that, I feel like that is kind of supporting that friend versus supporting the big company. Or if there's small businesses that have clothes that I like, I will buy from there. But otherwise, I am exclusively either not buying or I'm buying from ThredUp. And I really want to. I really need that ThredUp sponsorship.
Come on, ThredUp.
ThredUp, come on.
No, I think my biggest thing for this year is just to maintain, like, not to fill places, like that we get rid of things. I don't need to fill them. I am pretty good at not refilling, but I want to get better at that for sure. And then of course my goal is to keep buying like pre-loved. I'm doing that. So intentional clothing as well. Things that I don't have and could really wear. So
talking about digital books, and then also with Men's Game, if there's a day that you are like, I can't think of 20 items, go through and unsubscribe from 20 junk emails.
There you go.
Count that. Because digital clutter is just as horrible as physical clutter is now.
Yeah.
So go through and unsubscribe from those Old Navy emails and from those whatever else that you have signed up for that you just delete now, or they go into your junk mail because you're sick of them. Go make the effort. Is it Unroll Me, or like there's a website that you can have you be unsubscribed from everything.
But I need that.
I don't remember what the name.
It doesn't come to my. It's always just in my spam. But like, you still have to check your work spam. Just to make sure.
Exactly.
So,
the end. How do you feel? Are you ready?
Yeah. No, I feel super good. I'm excited to get rid of these tapes. And these boxes.
Everyone be a lookout for the giveaway of wrist tapes for Roseanne.
Who needs wrist tape?
Can we get a link for that unsub to all the junk mail site? I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, they do like the hide subscribe button. Oh my gosh,
so you have to go all the way down into the small wording.
Yep.
Unsubscribe.
Or they'll click on it and they'll type in your email. And then whenever you click on it, it'll make it like the big button is to resubscribe and not to like close out. So they make you resubscribe. I've done that a few times. I'm just like, oh my, I'm going to do it right now. Everybody click on that. Do it right now.
But sign in, and I don't feel like doing the sign in right now, but I'm going to do it too.
I want to do it right now.
You're doing it right now? Fine.
Right now.
Okay.
Because my computer's auto signed into everything. So it's easier.
Oh, mine is.
There you go. Perfect. There you go. We're all going to have clean emails next week.
And then you should be able to go through and like click who you don't want to subscribe from or whatever kind of thing.
Oh, that'll be really nice. All right, don't forget our hashtag, y'all. If you're going to want to show us what you're doing, and of course, we're going to keep holding y'all accountable for this. I'm definitely going to need accountability. That's our hashtag, TMW Men's. Use it on Instagram. You can do stories. However, we just won't be able to look back at them. So if you want us to see them maybe next week, like we'll go click on the hashtag and look at different things. We'll do the posts as well as Twitter. So use it on those. And I'm really excited, Sam. Thank you for sharing so much information.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Gotta have my Ulta and Sephora emails. Do you really need to be buying extra makeup?
No, y'all don't buy makeup. Don't look. I wear makeup a lot, and I don't buy extra makeup because it takes you a lot longer than you think to get through it.
I'm very stickler on the expiration dates of makeup though, so I buy one eyeshadow palette or like one face palette a year.
If it's foundation, I worry more about that. Powder, eyeshadow, and stuff, I'll keep for years. I'm sorry.
For some reason, I just don't. Yeah, expiration dates. I'm a stickler on for everything. They just scare me. So
it makes sense. There can be some big issues. I've seen people have like allergic reactions. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I haven't yet, so I'm waiting for the day, I guess.
Also, you come on stream and you're like 7-year-old eyeshadows.
No, I would get invisible. You're like, Sam can't operate in right now. We can only hear her today. I got like swollen eyes. But right now, also, you can clean your makeup if y'all don't know with alcohol, like just alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Not
once a year I go through and I replace all of my makeup, and it's usually in January. So
yeah, throw away those old beauty blenders, y'all.
Oh yeah.
You know how much mold gets in those?
No, yeah. I buy like that's what I do is I usually change mine out like every other month because I don't use it all the time and I let it dry out in between. So I usually buy like 4 beauty blenders for the year. And then and then I get my multiple things of mascara because I know I usually go about through 2 to 3 tubes a year. This year, last year was different, but yeah, I buy that. So I buy all of it at the very beginning of the year, and then I'm good to go. Sorry, there was a fuzzy.
Wait, you're this way. Sorry.
Anyways, are you streaming today?
Sure.
You are awesome.
I'm gonna get on out of here, but I had fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we will chat for a few minutes. Oh, mine are all up on the wall.
It's fine. I have an. Here, hold it, Sam.
Here's a little honey wand that Charlie brought.
Hold it.
Okay, ready?
Okay, there you go. There you go. It's fine. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Ready, set, go!
Goodbye!